Hello, true duelists. My name is Craig Fee, and I have a gun. April showers bring Fuelas reprints to Yu-Gi-Oh! As April brings a new set and 2 YCSs. I'm sorry, which deck won YCS Buenos Aires? What year is it exactly? The quarter-century Stampede set list is out, and the cards in it are as good as the set name is stupid. There are no leaks in Ba Sing Se. Welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. If anyone can tell me which person I was doing an atrocious impersonation of, you work where I do. It's April, and as an April Fool's joke, I've gone ahead and uploaded a video. That joke would be a lot better had this been a video uploaded yesterday, but that would have been a good idea. And if you work where I do, you know, that's a fireable offense. So I tend to avoid those like they're the plague. Still, it's an exciting month for fans of affordable reprints, with just one product confirmed for this month, and that being the quarter-century Stampede. Rarity Collection 4, as the set code will show you, is a promising set, if nothing else for the fact that Fuelas will become affordable to a number of players following the reprint. And as promising as a set, I of course mean that it is promising of the end, as more bug-esque effects flood into the game and make the anti-Maxi proponents mold and seethe and cope and rage. Or something to that effect, because if I just say something like Fuelas, while strong, isn't as detrimental to the game at large as was initially feared, and is arguably in fact weaker than something like Perulia, and in some cases as such it offers a different level of adaptation in play, offering a more varied and enjoyable gameplay experience. But if I say something like that, then I can't clickbait the shit out of this video by saying some nonsense like Yu-Gi-Oh! Has 1 week left to live. You ever see those videos on like the Chinese economy where the thumbnails are like, China will collapse in 30 days, and it's like they've been being published for like a year? I want to bring that to the Yugi-tubing sphere. I just want to make somehow Yugi-tubing become even more insufferable. A feat you wouldn't think was possible when you remember your least favorite Yugi-tuber. Yeah, you know the one. That one. The one that you don't like. I'm going to be more insufferable than even them. Talk about impressive. I'll cover the reprints more fully in a later segment, and if you're wondering about the rather jarring jump to another topic here, that would be because I actually cut 2 paragraphs and substituted them with this sentence as I hard pivot to the next part of this video, that being the fact that this month there are 2 YCSs. First up is YCS Houston, happening this weekend, which is the hopium reveal of a TCG ban list, helped by things like Paul of Team APS tweeting out shit like this. Yeah, just saying to watch the YCS. But Paul, this weekend is the iconic Tyrogue hatch event in Pokemon Go, where everyone is totally excited to hatch those eggs or whatever. Still, the hype is now real, and even more so are the wishes for what could change about the format. My guess is that they'll slap the Fiendsmith engine in some capacity, as it's probably the safest bet since we need to keep selling things like crossover breakers, at least until we get Justice Hunters. God, I love set names, just so obnoxious. A bold prediction, I know, that they'll hit Fiendsmith. Konami will hit the meta a few months later than it needs to be and after a new dominant threat is already there. But all I'm doing here is following the pattern that the K-Man is set, not really making a bold and innovative prediction. YCS Mexico City will be the other YCS, happening on the weekend of the 19th and the 20th, offering duelists a chance to win big on the Weed Day number, which is important to people who are more annoying than they are funny. This will be a South American YCS in spirit, because not of the culture or the country that it's held in, but because I don't expect Konami to have any stream amount or care amount or anything in regards to this at YCS. Honestly, I hope that we'll get blog posts about it, and that it'll at least be on par with Las Vegas's YCS, but even then, I'm probably not expecting much from it. So it's an honorary LATAM YCS in the metaphysical sense, where even though it is happening in North America, Konami really does not care, I don't think. Beyond that, the only thing in store is, as set, the hope or desire or expectation or some other fourth term I can't think of for the TCG's ban list. But enough about the future, let's do the politician thing and focus instead on the past. YCS Buenos Aires was held last weekend, an event attended to by just shy of 800 players, where I have no clue what went on. Literally, no idea what happened at the event. A man could have been doing standing backflips at each and every table for 4 hours straight, and I wouldn't be able to tell you about it because I didn't see any tweets about it, and that's the most coverage that this event got, having no stream and no meaningful blog posts behind it. Thanks to online sources like YGOProDeck.com, I can see that the majority of the top 32 decks, of which you're looking at, were the standard model, as are for LATAM events. There's, you know, the blog posts, but they're just pairings and a picture of the winner, so there's not much to go off there. Although that's not entirely true. There was also this welcome post where they didn't even include the number of players who attended. YGO Pro Deck has it at 792, but Konami just says duelists from all over the world, so really what matters? Top 32 looks about what you expect. As said, LATAM events tend to have a few more rogue tops than North American or European ones, so seeing Crystron and Ubel and Memento isn't like a holy crap, even though I should probably be reacting that way, again, if I want to clickbait more with YouTube. What's notable though is the lone Mermail player, beating out the 10 Ryzeal decks and 8 Malice decks, because as I let these fade out over top of each other to show you all the pictures that I made here, because, well, I made them, so I may as well force myself to show them, god damn it. But that Mermail slice is getting bigger, but it's not in terms of, you know, more Mermail showing up, it's just the lone Mermail showing up. That would be Mermail's strongest soldier, who would ultimately beat out all of his opponents and win the entire event. Congrats going to Luca Garcia for winning with Mermail, the first time Mermail has won a solo YCS since YCS Paris in 2014, over a decade later from the deck's last time of being relevant. It did technically win Team YCS San Salvador in March, with 2 of the 3 decks of the winning team, but some pedantic fuck will argue that that isn't technically a win because Ryzeal was a factor, but this is irrefutable evidence that Mermail spamming out Toads is in fact a winning strategy if you just simply win every game at a YCS. It's not that hard, just get on it. Reminds me of a scrap video I had planned about the history of it as my favorite deck, which I realized was just turning into a really shitty version of one of Farfa's videos about Burning Abyss, so I just scrapped it and moved on. The less you know. I'll delete that video from my folder of videos one day. Pretty cool to see my favorite deck win though, so I'm cool. You know, change my name to Clodsire because it's a good year to be me. That's another forced in Pokemon joke. Hope you got it. I've been playing Pokemon Go. Can you tell? If you too have been suffering through Great League, yes you can. But it's also a good year to be Luca since he of course won a YCS. Will Mermail see replicated results at Houston this coming weekend? Probably not, but any feature match featuring the deck could be streamed, so that it has that going for it. So it's gonna be streamed there, so that's hype to look forward to. And again, congrats to Luca. So let's just move on to the next one. And as mentioned earlier, the quarter-century Stampede is here, and it is here. Konami's content creators, who know how to say the word fuck far less often than I do, got to open their early boxes, and now we know the full set list. Big hype things include reprints for Fiendsmith Engraver and Fiendsmith Desiree, a handful of Vanquish Soul cards, alternate art Ash getting the Rarity Collection printing again, and by again I mean Ashes again, but now it's the alt art, as well as the Ghost Ogre original art printing, some Mermail and some Atlantean cards, the Goatee level 10 Synchro for reasons unexplainable by man, and actually notable reprints like Typhon, Salamangreat Rage Phoenix, Transaction Rollback, and of course everyone's favorite, Crystron Quan. Finally, at long last, Quan has more than Juan printing. Get it? I don't. I didn't even check whether or not that's a true statement. It probably has another reprint between its first one and this one, but I didn't care. Magia is getting a new affordable reprint, which is important to those of you who care about that, because Blue Eyes does have shooters everywhere. I'm sure someone is very excited for that, so congrats, some good news for you in this video. The thing to really pog at, of course, is the fact that the quarter-century celebration alternate arts that the OCG got, that we'll be getting them too. I'm talking about that sick new Nibiru alt art, or the new alternate art of Sky Striker Ray, Galaxy Eyes, Effect Veiler, Chaos Max, Access Code, and the tactical tri-versions of Called by the Grave, Pot of Extravagance, worst alt art ever, don't at me, and Lightning Storm will have their arts in the TCG. The reason to mauled at that fact instead of pogging is from what we've seen so far, they're almost certainly only available in quarter-century secret rare, and will be pricey as hell. Sucks to suck, just invest in the stock's forehead. Oh, that's not Good. That's bad news too. Well then, there's no good news at all. Whoops. So we'll just hard pivot to the nostalgia pool, I guess. And you in the comments can decide how cool or uncool the printing strategy is for these alt arts. They did do similar in Bonanza with House Dragon Maid and Shizuku, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not an unprecedented printing strategy. It's just one that's entirely unwanted. The Poggerific nostalgia prints, which is a normal, human, authentic way to describe reprints in Yu-Gi-Oh! Include things like Norden, which I feel is especially important to laugh at and note because it's its first reprinting in over a decade. Other alt arts include Tour Guide's alt art, both arts of El Shadal Construct, because if you just put Shadal Construct on your deck list, you will get a game loss that is a different card. And of course, everyone's favorite, Arcana Dark Magician, or the red one, or whatever the hell it's called. And if that's not to your liking, maybe one of 4 other Dark Magicians, because there's a lot of Dark Magicians in this one. We didn't focus on Blue Eyes just for a slight change of pace, pivoting hard to Dark Magician. There's also 2 alt arts of Red Eyes, or 2 arts of Red Eyes to get, so that's cool. And if you don't care about the alt arts, then maybe pick yourself up the sparkliest little baby Saurosaurus to give the Hiroshima treatment as you dino combo your opponent to death. Is that joke kosher? Not at all. My bad, but is it really? Because I made it. Like, am I truly remorseful? X to doubt. All of these will either be in the Platinum Secret Rare or Quarter Century Secret Rare, of course, as the nostalgia pool always is. Other notable reprints from that include Phoenixian Cluster Amaryllis, which is very good for Edison, and it's a little hat format special in terms of all the Xyz and, you know, things like Abyss Megalo or Gear Armor and the Hands. And as a matter of fact, if you follow through the reprints, you can see little pockets of like, ooh, that's Duelist Alliance. How cool is it that we have a Burning Abyss's Seer in a sparkly art that isn't just gold rare? Now, I've gotten comments that it's pronounced Seer. I, of course, choose to always love pronouncing it Sir, but Seer is how everyone else says it, so whatever you like. Either way, there's the fact that there's 2 reprints of Link monsters in the nostalgia pool, Link Karibo and Electromite. They're both banned, which is funny to me. I guess that's nostalgic. And of course, Electromite now has a reprint, so you know that the Pendulum Cultists are already being insufferable about it. I will say, I like that when you look through, you can see the pockets of the formats over the years. It's pretty neat to see visually. It's like, oh yeah, I remember Masterpiece, and then I remember, you know, Spiral or whatever. All in all, I do think this is a pretty solid set. It does have a number of staples, such as the Fiendsmith cards, Fualas, things like Ash Blossom, and reprints for solid decks, like Mermail and Vanquish Soul. Hell, it even has a Black Rose Dragon alternate art that's not the hideous fucking gold rare, so thank you for Konami for putting some respect on Black Rose Dragon finally. It also absolutely could have been better. There are no Kashtira cards, no Bistio cards, and for those horny for the alt art of Diabellstar, you are going to have to break the bank. But this is dropping just in time for Worlds qualifiers that are coming up in June and July, so as long as the ban list doesn't massacre things like the Fiendsmith engine, the set isn't worthless and will provide more players more means to play at a competitive level if they so choose to. If they so choose to. What is speaking? It's not something I could do. I am, of course, tempting fate by mentioning we just need the ban list to be good, guys, which is not smart, but hey, I did it. What can we do about that? If nothing else, it looks better than Rarity Collection 3 did for me, so I won't hate it, and I will have a box to open of it soon. Maybe I'll even stream it, and then we can all watch me mauled in real time at how much I hate pulling 3 copies of Dark Magician from a single box. To quote that guy from that one movie, that's a bingo! And absolutely huge news this past week from the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that would be the fact that nothing happened. It's crazy, I know, 7 days passing and nothing to report on after reporting on multiple things that happened. Konami themselves has even made a statement about the lack of things happening that I felt motivated to share with us all since it's simply so powerful. So let me just... I actually forgot that that's where this is. That's funny. Get the fuck out of here. Here we go. Check out this official statement from Konami. Persons who publicize privileged information, such as set contents, card spoilers, etc., for KDAUS brands before such information is officially revealed to the public, may incur penalties, including suspension from participation in organized play and or removal as an OTS. This includes sharing or reposting privileged information. It is not restricted to the original sources. So, isn't that something? As a man who enjoys dueling and would like to make a shitpost style video interviewing people outside of a YCS in the near to soon future, it would be easier for me to do so and make it more worth of my time if I could also play the goddamned game when I go to that YCS. As such, no, I don't know anything of what you're talking about. It was a very dull week. Nothing happened. That is my official statement on the matter. Nothing happened. I love Konami more than God itself, and I enjoy spending money to enter official tournaments and pay for legally printed cards at the time is such that they are released publicly. Please do not shoot me in the metaphysical sense, Konami. I don't want to not be allowed to play the game, okay? I like the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even against the will of people who no longer like the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And feel the need to go online and tell me I'm stupid for enjoying the things I like. Even though those people exist, it doesn't stop me. I still play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Please, Konami, let me keep doing that. And so that wraps it up for this week's update. As always, I've been your host, Craig Fee. I almost said something else there. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, do all the cool things all the kids do, like subscribe and like and comment. Not only doing so will impress your smoking Italian wife, but you'll immediately become a true duelist. And who knows what could happen to you if you don't do that. I mean, anything, the possibilities are endless because that's just how the world works. So don't mind me, don't mind what's going on in my hand. Just hit that subscribe button and we'll all be good friends. Dear close personal friends, everything will be fine. Hit the subscribe button. Just do it. Just hit the fucking subscribe. Hit the fucking subscribe. Do your fucking job. Turn the music down. I'm trying to film.